We're live.
Called order. This will be Wednesday, April 13th at 7:02 p.m. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance using the flag in the front. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Here.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
We have quorum.
Additions, deletions, and withdrawals to the agenda.
None.
Mayor, I have a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to be removing 11.5. We're also going to be
Hold on, I gotta catch up.
Sorry.
Okay,
And we're also going to be removing 12.1.
all right.
And a change to the presentation. It's the Honorable Senator Jones is not going to be here, but Mariana Brayton Moore is to do the presentation.
All right. Let's see if there's anything for you guys.
No, I don't have any.
Give me just one moment. Let me make sure there's none. I do have one addition. The League of Mayors Conference this summer. Second, I'll get the dates. It's, I believe, in June. Okay, it's June 3rd through 6th. Put that on, call it 11.13.
Perfect.
That's all we have.
Okay.
All right. Motion to approve the revised agenda?
Motion to approve the revised agenda?
I'll second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins? Yes. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Go with presentations. This will be 5.1 legislative update. Welcome. Shevrin called me this morning, let me know that he wouldn't be here.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in his place.
Of course, Mayor. It's a pleasure, of course. I have worked with Senator Jones since 2018, so I'm very familiar with Pembroke Park, and it's unfortunate that Senator Jones will not be representing Broward County anymore, but of course, staff here are always available and willing to help our Pembroke Park and South Broward residents. Okay, so good evening, of course, Commission and Mayor Jacobs. Thank you all for allowing me to present this legislative update on behalf of State Senator Shevrin Jones, as he is under the weather, but he will be coming back next month to give a update on some of the things that are happening, like redistricting and other items for appropriations for the city of Pembroke Park. Like I said, my name is Marina, and I am a legislative assistant for Senator Jones, and of course, it is my honor to keep Floridians and our residents informed. So this past legislative session in Tallahassee, from, of course, Senator Jones' perspective, was definitely one of the worst sessions that Florida has ever seen. People across the state are hurting as insurance rates, housing costs, and prices for everyday necessities are on the rise. But unfortunately, the majority in Tallahassee continues to focus on divisive distractions instead of like issues that matter to everyday Floridians. Some unfortunate bills or controversial bills, you could say, that passed the governor's desk this past legislative session includes Senate Bill 148 called Individual Freedom, which even though the title implies freedom, it is simply, the governor and his administration knows full well that theories like critical race theory, which are taught at the university level, are not taught in K through 12 schools. And it's unfortunate that instead of running on forward-thinking ideas to improve students' understanding of history, the legislature this session focused on manufacturing crises that were previously non-issues. When it comes to the education of our children, Senator Jones believes that every parent wants the same basic thing: for kids to learn the truth and to learn how to understand and evaluate the world around them. Florida is doing children a disservice by hiding and covering up the truth when we should be setting up students for long-term success by providing the tools needed to envision a better future and society for themselves. Another one of the controversial bills from this past legislative session was HB 1557, officially named Parental Rights in Education, or the Don't Say Gay bill for short, was yet another hostile attack on our LGBT youth from Tallahassee. This bill was not about parental rights. Florida's Constitution already grants parents the rights to be involved in their child's education. Every Florida student, including our LGBT kids, deserves to learn in safe, inclusive environments where they're treated with dignity and respect, not to be further isolated, stigmatized, or dehumanized because of who they are in the classroom. One of the last controversial bills that I'll mention is the Elections Administration Bill, Senate Bill 524. It seems as though the Florida legislature is attempting to move the goalpost again in response to Black and brown voters voting overwhelmingly by mail-in ballots during the 2020 election cycle. Some of the issues with this bill, it will require people to now include sensitive information along with managing multiple and separate envelopes We do imagine that this will inevitably generate confusion among the public and deter voter turnout. Additionally, the bill creates an Office of Election Crime and Security, giving our governor unprecedented jurisdiction over voter fraud cases. Through the bill, the governor seeks to appoint his own police force to chase non-existent election issues like widespread voter fraud, which will only burden Floridians' taxpayers and further intimidate voters. The current process we have in place for investigating election fraud has been proven to work, yet the governor would rather send out his own people to target communities instead of allowing FDLE to continue to do their job in a nonpartisan manner. However, despite some of these negatives, Senator Jones did have quite a few successes. Not only did he secure $36.9 million in state funding for District 35, he also secured the Pembroke Park Bicycle and Pedestrian Improvements Project for $195,000. I'm also proud to share that Senator Jones did pass 4 bills on the Senate floor this year, including Senate Bill 630, Ava's Law, which was one of his top priorities. This would create Ava's Law after Erica Thompson, a pregnant woman in custody, lost her baby last year when she gave birth in a county jail, and she did not receive medical attention. This bill will also offer judges the ability the bill requires a judge to offer a pregnant woman who's convicted of crimes the opportunity to defer her sentence until 12 weeks after delivery of the baby so that the woman may receive necessary child care for herself and her child. Another bill that Senator Jones passed this session was Senate Bill 236, Children with Developmental Delays. SB 236 modifies the definition of developmental delay by extending the upper age limit for identification of a student as having a developmental delay from age 5 to age 9, the maximum age authorized by the federal law. Under the bill, a student with a developmental delay up to age 9 or grade 2 may be included in the definition of exceptional student and eligible for admission to public special education programs. The third bill that Senator Jones passed also includes SB 1258, Managed Care Plan Performance, which would require managed care plans contracted with the Agency for Healthcare Administration to collect an annual report, an extended set of performance measures, including healthcare effectiveness data and informational set measures, the Federal Core Set of Children's Healthcare Quality Measures, and the Federal Core of Adult Healthcare Quality Performance Measures. This bill will help ensure that Florida's policymakers have access to necessary data for making informed, meaningful decisions as we seek to eliminate health disparities in our communities. And finally, one of the last bills that Senator Jones passed is Senate Bill 1236, Municipal Detention Facilities. This will require that all county-level jails be inspected each year, regardless of whether they're operated by the sheriff or the county commission, would create financial penalties for noncompliance, adds 2 more members to the current 5-member FMJS commission, and this would also allow licensed physicians with at least 2 years of experience in correctional health care and another Florida licensed psychiatrist to also be a part of the board. Regarding redistricting, Senator Jones will come and speak on that personally. Legislators, all the House members and senators, and the governor will be convening a special session starting next week to go over the congressional maps that were vetoed from this session. So that currently is our current update. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, of course, representing Pembroke Park and Tallahassee for the past 8 years. And, like I said, staff are always available to help residents. Always feel free to contact us should a constituent need assistance with the state resource. We will always be here regardless of whether Senator Jones represents Broward or Miami-Dade.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Item number 6, public comments related to the agenda, good and welfare. Have any public comment this evening? Public comments. All right. Consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda as is?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right. Item number 8, resolutions. Resolution 2022-003. Planning consultant Michael.
Honor Meulen.
Okay, there we go.
I do want to, before Mr. Vonder Meulen starts,
The title.
well, what I want to do is, these are both quasi-judicial items,
Okay.
and so it requires me to ask the commission. I think each of you met with the developer, and so that's what's called ex parte contact, which is okay as long as you will confirm that your vote tonight will be fair and impartial and based upon the evidence and testimony you hear this evening.
Okay.
And so I need each of you to confirm that verbally, if you can do that on the record.
Marlon, would you like to do a roll call for that?
Sure. And this applies to both items 8.1 and 8.2.
I will call out your name. Each one of you just have to state if you have had the conversation with any of them, and if you have, you state you have and with whom. Okay?
And that your vote will be fair and impartial this evening.
Yes. Clerk Commissioner DeVille,
Yes. You mean, yes, I've had the conversation, correct?
okay? And you can vote today being
Fair and impartial.
fair and
Be
impartial.
fair and impartial.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Jacobs,
Yes, I had the conversation, and yes, it could be fair and impartial.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes, I did have a conversation, and I can be fair and impartial.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Would you like to read the title first?
Certainly.
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
Mayor, the applicant has requested there's one additional item on the agenda, and just a request to possibly take it out of order and have the presentation made for all 3 items.
Sure, where is that?
That would be 11.7, which is the sign variance.
You want to move that over?
It's up to you, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, we'll move 11.7 over to, and we'll make it 8.3.
Need to vote on each of the items separately, but it makes sense to
No
hear them.
problem. Did you get that? Make 11.7 8.3. And we'll vote on them all 3 individually.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to read the title of the first resolution. Resolution number 2022-003, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, approving an amendment to the site development plan for application 21-SP-05, located at 3195 West Hallandale Beach Boulevard, superseding conflicting resolutions and providing an effective date.
Right, would you like to go on I mean, all three, or
I think he's going to present,
you want to present on that?
and
Okay.
then,
I'll go ahead and present, and in the presentation, you'll see that there's some conditions of approval.
Okay.
And the other two applications are actually addressing the conditions of approval.
Perfect. All right. Go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
Commissioners. My name is Mike Vonder Meulen. I'm with a company called Keith. We are standing in, you have probably already know that Ms. Heidi had moved on to another position. So we are standing in as the consultant town planner until the position can be filled. And it's our honor to be able to do that. So this is City Cattell Center. This is a site plan amendment. Case number is 21 SP-05. The request tonight is an amendment to the site plan. It's to eliminate the fast food and the office and bank use and add a hospital use. The hospital use will be just under 31,000 square feet. The Wawa and the self-storage facility that were already previously approved will remain approved, and there are no changes to those two portions of the site plan. The hospital use is a permitted use in B1. The architecture and the color palette are consistent with the town's guidelines. The parking meets the town code. There will actually be a traffic reduction based on the before and after analysis. Fast food and banks, especially drive-throughs, generate a lot of traffic. And when analyzing the hospital use versus those uses, there'll actually be a reduction in the traffic. And then there will be a Plat note amendment needed for this to allow the additional square footage that's being proposed by the hospital. So here is the original, or the site plan that was approved. There's no changes to the two areas outlined in red. This is a close-up of the hospital. It will be 2 stories and have 48 parking spaces with 3 of those ADA. This is the elevation that you'll see on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. And then the conditions of approval are that a plat note amendment is required to be able to allow for the construction of the property. Each building must continue to stand on its own. So if any of those 3 uses are sold individually, they'll be able to stand on their own in terms of parking, green space, setback requirements, etc. The color scheme still requires final approval. The applicant, I believe, did consider the name change, and I'll let him expand on that. The signs must comply with the town code or seek a variance. Again, that is one of the items here in front of you after this. And the approval will expire within 18 months if a building permit is not pulled. And that concludes my presentation, and the applicant is here.
Thank you.
Any questions?
None.
Yeah. I apologize. So let me go ahead and continue with the other 2 items.
Okay.
I really don't have any additional slides for that deck. It's the Plat note amendment is essentially to increase the square footage that is allowed on the plat. The language was negotiated between Broward County, city staff, and the applicant. We have no objection to that amendment. That amendment will allow the hospital use if that use is approved as this site plan amendment application. The last one is the sign variance for the Wawa. Again, this is a variance from the city code. Prefer not to make any recommendation either way. I think variances stand on their own. I think as the applicant will make their presentation, you'll see that their reasoning for that. And at this time, we have no objection to the variance, but as a professional planner, I prefer not to make recommendations of a violation of the code. So you do have your code sign requirement, but there are unique circumstances in this particular instance, and the applicant will go ahead and present that.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Commissioner. It's a pleasure to be here this evening before you again. My name is Brian Adler, for the record. Law office is at Bills in Sunburg, 1450 Brickell Avenue, Suite 2300. I'm joined this evening by Jeff Ferber from Southeast Investments, Inc., which is an affiliate of Ferber, and you see Ferber's name there. And we described Ferber last time and all the developments that they've done within the state, and I appreciate the welcome back. We did have the opportunity to present the application and prior site plan before you a few times, which culminated in an approval on December 15th of a particular site plan. As Mike Vonder noted, that site plan had essentially 4 parts. You had the 2 bookends, the Wawa and the self-storage, and those are not changing. So we're here before you on essentially the middle parcel of that site plan. Since the original time that we were here, an exciting opportunity arose. So the 2 bookends were solid. The middle 2 parcels were still under negotiation when a national user specifically sought a location in Pembroke Park and specifically sought this site, and that user is Nutex. Nutex is a provider and operator and manager of essentially specialty micro hospitals and freestanding emergency rooms. So this brings an opportunity for a beneficial use to go on that property. It does precipitate some changes. So the items that we're here before you tonight is your 8.1 is essentially a modification to the site plan. The code says if you approved a plan, you have to approve a modification to the plan. The second one is a Plat note amendment, as Mr. Vonder noted, to allow the 35,000 square feet use, because the 2 parcels in between were total about maybe 8, 9, 10,000 square feet. This is about 31,000, but because as Mr. Vonder noted, the use generates lower traffic, so Broward County was also in favor. And the third is the Wawa sign variance, which we'll get into. We went before DRC. We have staff approval recommendation, and the Planning and Zoning Board last week also issued their recommendation of approval. So this is the site plan that's there, and as Mike noted, the Wawa and the self-storage are not changing. This is what is slated to take the place of the 2 prior uses. So I'm going to go through. One of the things that Ferber focused on from the beginning was bringing quality national users to the site. Nutex is a national user. They're located in numerous other states. This is going to be one of the first locations in South Florida. So the Wawa is going nowhere. We're very excited to actually get moving on that as soon as possible. We detailed last time pedestrian access and the access points and the improvements to Seneca Boulevard and the deceleration lanes. Those are all remaining unchanged. The Plat note amendment is only for the central parcel, and it's essentially to create a parcel B1 instead of parcel B. As Mr. Vonder noted, the hospital is a permitted use under B1, but importantly, it's also a permitted use under the Seneca Park ordinance that specifically governs the uses in the site. This is not the first reiteration of the plan that was presented to the town, and this is the end result after going back and forth and really coming up with a development that the focus was trying to blend the Wawa, which is 1 story, the self-storage, which is 4 stories, with a center parcel. This is 2 stories. What's behind it is essentially elongated warehouses that instead of seeing the warehouses, you're going to see an attractive building that blends with the remainder of the site. This is a rendering of what it's going to look like and how it blends in with the remainder of the site. try to have matching or complementary color palettes. Again, matching the architectural feature. Originally, it was a flat roof. This is a much more in line with what was already approved. So again, those are the two parts that are not changing. Again, it's going to bring a freestanding emergency room or hospital use, a benefit for the community. The investment is going to be much larger because this will be a two-story, about a 31,000 square foot building, much larger investment, which translates to more property taxes to the base. This is going to be one of the first locations in Florida. Some of the benefits, and this is just a quick outline of the benefits of a micro hospital or Nutex. Urgent care facilities generally have a wait time of 15 to 30 minutes. These are averages. This is not based on one particular one. Hospital ERs can often have a 30 to 60 minute wait time. Nutex typically has 5 minutes or less of a wait time. So this is really geared toward providing a service. Similarly, decreasing the wait times by having individuals that go to Nutex instead of the emergency rooms, it'll actually lower the wait times at emergency rooms. The WAWA signage is the other component that we're here before you this evening, which is now 8.3. The signage code details that signs are based on the size of the wall and then the distance from the front. WAWA on the front, we're proposing and I apologize, the permitted sign would be about 25 inches. This is going to be about 38 inches. However, the square footage that would be permitted is about 84.5, where we're seeking 40. Part of that is because WAWA is a shorter name. So if I said ExxonMobil, I can go all the way across. This is less than half the size of what would be permitted. In evaluating whether this sign is eligible for the variance, and we've set forth in our letter, and I know staff does not make a recommendation, so I just want to point out just that we meet the criteria and that it does not endanger the health, safety, and welfare of the community, but in fact, having a sign that's easier to read for cars traversing on the street is actually more beneficial. And even your code has additional signage that's permitted for gasoline stations. So that's the front sign and the two side signs, which are 28 inches proposed, and a total square footage of 23 instead of, again, 84.5 square feet. So we're here seeking your approval. We do want to let you know what's next. We'd like to give you a timeline and some updates. It cannot move as quickly for FIBRS as FIBRS would like. The town has been great. We're waiting on just some additional permits from Broward County to start the land clearing. So the town DRC approved the amendment last week. Planning and Zoning issued their unanimous approval. Tonight, we respectfully request your approval to proceed. And again, there's going to be the access and the changes are already going through. We anticipate those to be by the end of this month. We're hoping for the site permit. So the site clearing, if you've been by the site, you know there's rebar, other things in there, just the site clearing permits to be able to proceed. And then over the next few months, the actual vertical construction, hopeful permits to be processed, and then vertical construction anticipated in 2023, 2024. Importantly, there is a proposed groundbreaking for May 4th in the town, and that's something that's very exciting to FIBRS, and we hope everyone is able to make it. This is essentially the end plan. High-profile location, great new use, exciting opportunity that really complements the other uses, and we respectfully request we're here for questions, and we request your approval this evening.
Have any questions?
My question would be to Mr. Nunez, as far as the signage goes, is it feasible signage for what we allow in the town?
Good evening, Miguel Nunez, building official, Town of Pembroke Park. Commissioner Hutchins, that will be typical, not so much typical for the town. However, it will be typical for a Wawa franchise.
That type of station.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, and the variance, that's just for the front sign, not the side?
Actually, when we reviewed, it's actually for the three signs, so we did submit an amended letter. The front sign would normally be allowed to be, because it's based on the distances, the front side would normally be allowed to be 25 inches. This is 38.5 inches, if I can go back. However, that sign would normally be allowed to be 84.5 square feet. So because the Wawa is larger letters, or because it's a shorter word, the signage is more, if you will, vertical instead of horizontal. But it takes up less than half the square footage of what would be allowed. When we reevaluated, the side signs are only 23 square feet. So while they are, my apologies, let me. And the way the signage works, Vice Mayor, is it's based on the distance from the setback from the streets, et cetera. So you get a certain letter height, and then it's based on the distance. You get a certain inch per additional distance. Because of the location of the canopy as well, this is a condensed sign, but again, more visible, which is something that facilitates for driving. The side signs, 23 square feet versus 84.5 square feet. So less than a third of the size of sign. So again, if it was a longer word, you don't want to stretch out the words Wawa, the letters of Wawa, by just making it a longer sign. So it's higher. It's only pertains to the height of the actual letters themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anything else on this? You guys? No? All right. I'll entertain a motion to amend, for 8.1, I'll entertain a motion to amend the site development plan at 3195 West Hallandale Beach Boulevard.
Motion to amend 8.1?
Second?
Roll call?
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
All right, 8.2, resolution number 2022-004. Town Attorney, read the title.
Resolution number 2022-004, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, approving a plat note amendment for the Seneca Plat on Hallandale Beach Boulevard to allow parcel B1 to be used for emergency room / medical purposes, superseding conflicting resolutions and providing an effective date.
Any more you'd like to say? Any questions on this one? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the plot note amendment for development at 3191 through 3195 West Hallandale Beach Boulevard.
I'll make a motion to do 8.2.
Second.
Roll call?
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, 8.3, which is the sign variance for 3195 West Hallandale Beach Boulevard. I will entertain a motion to adopt.
Motion. For the sign change.
Second.
Roll call?
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all very much, and we look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks.
All right,
Okay,
we'll see you
bye-bye.
soon. Item number 9, ordinances, second reading. Town Attorney Anderson, ordinance number 2022-001.
These two ordinances are related, just reminder to the commission, to the progressive settlement. And they have been heard at first reading, so this is their second and final reading. Ordinance number 2022-001, ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, pertaining to the subject of environmental control, amending the town's code of ordinances to establishing regulations for materials recovery facilities operating in the town, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date therefore.
Right. This is the second reading for ordinance number 2022-001. I'll now open for public comment. Any comment from the public? Okay, I will close the public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2022-001.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
9.2, this will be ordinance number 2022-002, Town Attorney Anderson.
An ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida pertaining to the subject of growth management, amending the zoning regulations in the M1 Industrial Zoning District, amending definitions, amending the lists of permitted, special exception, and prohibited uses, amending provisions for nonconforming uses, amending other district regulations, amending procedures for zoning review and approval, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
All right, I'll open for public comment. Is there any comment from the public? No comment. We will close public comment. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2022-002.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, ordinance, first reading, 10.1, ordinance number 2022-003, planning consultant Michael Vonder, Meulen? Okay,
That was very good.
got it.
I'll go ahead and read the title, and then you can.
Perfect.
Ordinance number 2022-003, an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending the town's comprehensive plan by adopting a property rights element, providing for severability, superseding conflicting ordinances and resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Good evening again, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Mike Vonder with Keith. This request is a text amendment to the comprehensive plan. The state legislature essentially mandated that each of the governmental agencies adopt a property rights element within their comprehensive plan. And tonight you'll see that presented on the board are the standards for that element. It's fairly brief. It's one page, has one goal, one objective, and 3 policies, all in references to establishing and protecting individuals' property rights for the folks that own their property. And here to answer any questions you may have.
You guys have any questions on this?
Doesn't have to say what the property rights amendment is, right? I mean, just-
It's right here, pull the ordinance up, it's got everything written right in it.
Attached to the.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see it.
I don't have that.
Yep, we have it up on the
screen.
screen.
I got
Actually,
good
it-
vision, but it's,
I apologize. It's fairly brief. If you like,
there we go, thank you.
I can read it into the record, or okay.
So this is actually going into our comprehensive plan, not
Right.
into our ordinances.
All right, any questions?
Can you explain it in plain English, please? Just summarize it a little bit.
Sure. It's property rights. It's a property rights element that you are creating. This is be a brand new element within the comprehensive plan. There are various different elements within the comprehensive plan: future land use, recreation, open space, conservation, things like that. So this is another one that would be added. The goal, as stated, is the town shall recognize and respect judicially acknowledged and constitutionally protected property rights, meaning that if you're a property owner, you have particular rights that have been granted to you by the state of Florida. And they just want these embodied in the comprehensive plan and recognized as such. So property rights and local decision-making. A property owner has various rights to the property that shall be considered by the town when making decisions. So when the town, both the Planning and Zoning Board or the Town Commission, are reviewing applications that involve property rights, you recognize that the property owner has particular rights, those being complying with the local zoning code, the local comprehensive plan, and any other adopted ordinances from the town. So a person who owns the property within the town has the right to physically possess it and control that interest, including any easements, leases, or mineral rights. So those are the rights that are embodied in that first policy. The owners also has the right to use, maintain, develop, improve his or her property for personal use or for the uses of any other person subject to state law and local ordinances. The person who owns the property has privacy and can exclude others from their property. And lastly, a person who owns the property has the right to dispose of it through a sale or gift. And it's, again, these are pretty much basic rights. I think everybody pretty much understands when they own property. It's just that the state would like those embodied into the comprehensive plan. And also the Planning and Zoning Board approved this back in February, a recommended approval.
Does it protect people against eminent domain?
No, there are complete other state laws that are required, including the Byrd-Harris Act. And yeah, and although those aren't specifically stated here, they're implied and covered in other state laws.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Open for public comment. Any comment from the public? No public comment. I'll close public comment. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance.
Motion to approve ordinance 2022-003.
A second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
New business. Is Lika McGriffin here? Is it McGriff? McGriff. The
Ms.
motion-
Grooms,
What's that?
Ms. Grooms needs to come up to discuss these waivers.
Okay, Ms. Grooms. Missed that? I did, I apologize. BTR Billing Administrator Grooms.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Clerk Commissioner. I don't expect any of the waiver request applicants to show up tonight. I did let them know that it would be available, that they could attend. So if you have any questions, I can go over the material, answer those, whatever your concerns are. The first one is actually for a special event. They were cited by code enforcement and were instructed to apply. So it was after the fact that they applied for it. That's why the additional cost of the $150 is listed on like the third page of the invoice, showing on the invoice. So they did pay for the $10 regular fee, and they're asking for the waiver of the $150.
What was your recommendation?
I think for the most part, they did comply quickly, and turn in their information. So it is at the discretion of the commission. She did comply. She wrote a letter stating that she was from a different jurisdiction. Maybe they do something differently. So she's asking for that waiver. And it's possible. You can do 50%. You can do all of it. It's completely at your discretion.
Michelle, this is just a one-day event that they held, right?
One-day event.
And if I'm not mistaken, they thought that they were in West Park itself. They got confused. They thought they set up in West Park.
Correct.
But they ended up in Pembroke Park when it was already, I guess most of the event was done.
Yeah.
They came, code came and told her, hey, you need to get one. And when she did,
She did comply.
she came in and complied, but she got the citation anyway.
And one of the reasons why we do this process for special events is so that property owners are aware of what's going on in their property. So it's very important for us to continue that procedure so that we don't have people just setting up wherever they want.
I don't want a band in my backyard.
Exactly.
Let's have a little discussion here for a minute. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the paragraph attached? All right, so I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this. One, the individual didn't show up to discuss it here with us. That's concerning because this concerned her. She's asking for a waiver. Two, I've owned multiple businesses. When I open a business, I have to look up all the regulations, the laws, current, local, county, state, everything that goes with it, along with taxation. Everyone's got to do this when they open a business.
Correct.
Or operate a business. In this case, this individual didn't realize they were even in our town, let alone needed a permit, and it looks like they just tried to make a couple bucks here. But when it comes down to disciplining an adult, the only way to do it is financially, in the form of punishment, to make sure this doesn't happen a second time. From what I'm seeing here, she didn't properly research what she needed to do prior to doing it, was cited, and then ended up with the $150 penalty afterwards.
Correct.
Without her being here to even support her claim, I don't see reason that we should go and waive this fine. This is, someone made a mistake, they got caught in the process of doing it, and it's the only way to hold people accountable. So, in my opinion, I think the penalty should stand as it is.
I disagree. I think we should waive the fee. It was an honest mistake. I read the letter. It was an honest mistake, and she is not a business. She was just an individual trying to make a couple bucks. I don't think we should penalize her for $150 for that.
Here's the thing. If you get caught doing something like this from the IRS and not following the proper procedure, our fines are an absolute joke what you get hit with. You're a minute late filing your corporate taxes, the fines start at like $400. This is a $150 fine for something that happened in our town where no one has been held accountable for many years around here. So I disagree with your opinion on it, but my opinion stands. What do you think?
I think the fine seems to be a little heavy for what was happening. Filing any big income tax returns. Like selling lemonade or whatever. So anyway, no, I don't agree with the $150 fine. If you want to reduce it down to $30 or $40 maybe, but I want to make it so it's impossible for somebody to pay.
That's what happens when you own a business, though.
I've owned several
When you make
businesses.
mistakes, you get stuck with penalties and fines. And this includes our building department, inspections, code enforcement, anything. This is the process that we have in place. And I don't think our fines are steep by any means for this town. So we'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we don't charge her the fine.
I second.
Roll call.
Motion made to not find the after-the-fact penalty fee by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins? Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
No.
Motion passes.
I'm gonna say the person isn't even here to represent themselves in the case. That's another indication we should not be doing this.
They're aware that they had to be?
I'm not sure if they were aware that they should be here.
They are told that they can attend the meeting. Is it mandatory to be heard before the commission in order to have it done? No. So if you're going to make it mandatory,
Not
it's,
mandatory, but if you wanna stand up for yourself, that's what you do. You man up, you come up here and you
Yep.
stand up and you explain yourself. You
Maybe it
explain
should
the
be,
situation.
maybe it should be implied to the person that, this is what happens if you don't show up.
From here on out,
Correct.
what I'll do, from here on out, if you're gonna request it, you make your case
Yeah,
before the
make your case,
commission,
yeah.
and we can get that done.
I don't want, no offense, Michelle, I don't want a staff making a recommendation to waive fines on something that the commission is responsible to be doing.
Got
That's
it.
our decision to be making up here.
It'll be
So-
blank from here on out.
They should know that they can come forward and bring it to the commission, as people have in the past when it comes to BTR complaints. I
Not a
can
problem.
recall multiple people coming forward and reducing fines in the past, but they came forward to actually discuss their violations. Here, we have nobody here on all of these. So I'm gonna stay with my opinion on all, I believe it's three items. So we'll do 11.2, request to waive, waiver request. What's the name?
it's for,
Jackie
last name Walker.
Walker. Ms.
Okay.
Walker.
This one is an applicant. She's a business owner. She has been in business since 2015. It's an existing business. She's just asking for the waiver of the penalties. Again, as we know, most people that are in business now have been affected by COVID. So that was her request. As you can see, we have a sales receipt that is included. There are two business tax accounts, because one is for the salon itself, and then the other one is for the cosmetologist that's performing services. So she did pay $162.01 for the salon, and you can see also on the other one, which is, it's small because we just basically asked for them to register with their state information, so it was $2. This is for 2 years. She caught up, got everything in order. So she's asking for the waiver, which is the March 1st waiver. We have a scale of penalties. All business tax are supposed to be renewed along with their fees by October 1st of our fiscal year. We pre-bill them and then they pay. After October 1st, starting October 1st, is 10%, and then it goes all the way up to January, which is 25%. After that, we usually try to get code involved or check with the location to see if they're still there with the property owners. And that's the final fee, March 1st, which is $250.
Was she still there?
Yes. And she paid for the, fees up to January, but she's asking for the waiver of the March 1st $250 penalty.
This is her first time that
As far as the history is, I don't have a complete history on her, but she's been in business since 2015. I didn't make a note of anything other than that. So I'm going to say she may have paid late, but never this late.
Okay. And discussion again. Now you have a business owner that's been established since 2015. Again, the only way to hold people accountable as adults is financially. This comes in the form of tickets, violations, penalties from everyone on down. Again, a minute late from the IRS, your fines start racking up. It's just the same thing with the town. So I'm going to state, I believe the penalty should stay as it is.
Well, I agree, just for the simple fact that it's a three-sentence statement. It didn't really go into details why she fell behind. So I do agree this one should stick.
Let me also mention to the commission that she does have two accounts only because of the fact that we separate out the cosmetologist with the salon. So normally they have 2 licenses, but if you wanted to waive one and not the other, because both accounts were charged at $250.
Again, we need to hold people accountable to pay their bills on time, especially when it comes to business. We can't be bending over for every single person and cutting breaks every which way when it comes to violations. Again, it's the only way to hold people accountable to pay their bills on time with the town. So, my statement stands. Mr. Hodgkins?
I would say that this person is in a business, and the other person that we just discussed previous wasn't. It was just doing a side thing. And I think that businesses should be accountable. If you're going to run a business in the town, then run it right. So I think the fine should stand, or the fees should stand, I should say.
All right, I'll entertain a motion. Any more
Motion.
discussion first?
Not for this one.
I entertain a motion.
Motion to not waive the fees. Items 11.2.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins? Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, item number 11.3, a waiver request again, just in Broker and Mark Bonholm. Are these individuals here?
No, I don't think so. I didn't see anyone from the waivers.
All right, go ahead with what this one is.
Same situation. They were multiple years in arrears. They came in. As you can see, they are a business also that's been here since 2015. They are an insurance broker, as well as the agency are separately licensed. So you have the payment that was made in February for $1,000, brought them current, and then you flip over a couple more pages for the agent, also brought up to the current. Now, this person, a little bit different from the other one, he did not pay any of the penalties, he just paid the base fees. So this amount that remains includes all the penalties up through January, in addition to the March 1st.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my opinion on this one as well. The individual's not here. They're an insurance broker. They've been in business here since 2015. They paid all the fees, is that correct?
No, they
didn't pay
paid
the
only
penalties.
the base fees, meaning those services rendered, they didn't pay the penalties from October through January or the March 1st.
Okay, so this one I look at a little different, and I'll give you my opinion on this one. It looks like they're paying the fees hoping that the town is going to waive the penalties along with it. Stick with the same thing I said on the last ones. The only way to hold people accountable to pay their bills on time and paying the town to stay current with their licenses is paying their bills on time. The only way to discipline someone in business is by fines, penalties, and fees. So as this one is like the others, I think the penalty should stand.
One other comment, Mayor. This one has come before the commission before. So
When did that happen?
I don't have the date. I'm going to say probably prior to COVID, because these bills are since COVID.
Okay, so this is the second time coming before the commission?
Correct.
Again, I believe the penalty should stay.
What was the results of the first one?
It was waived.
So we cut them a break before. They paid the fees to get current, but didn't pay the penalty. So thinking that they're gonna get the penalty waived a second time. Again, the only way to hold people accountable is in this format. You keep cutting people breaks, they're just gonna keep playing the game along. So I think the penalty should stay as stands.
I make a motion that the penalty stands.
A second.
Roll call.
Just one second. What is the amount, please? Is it the $693.32?
I believe so. There's two.
Right.
You have the insurance one, yeah, $693.32. for the agency, I'm sorry, and then for the agent, $552.33.
Is that the total of 1,005, or is that separate?
The 1,005 was what they paid
Okay, okay.
originally.
Yep, I see it.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
What's the motion again?
It's to not go ahead and waive the fees.
Yes. Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, hold on, I lost my agenda, other agenda here. 11.4, this is a recommendation by Walmart BTR Grooms Administrator. If I remember correctly, this is the one that was overpaid.
Yes, well, not overpaid. He paid prior to verifying with his local office if they were still using the facility, and they are
Asking for a
not.
refund?
Yeah,
Yes.
because they weren't there.
Yes,
Okay. And this one, I believe we should approve the refund amount of $271.92. Is that it, Michelle?
correct.
I agree.
Discussion on that? Entertain a motion?
I make a motion that we go ahead and issue the refund.
Second.
Roll call?
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much, Commission.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
11.6, Broward County Sheriff's Office, CJIS, Interim Police Chief Howard.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner. The Broward County Sheriff's Office leads a countywide conglomerate, if you will, of all the agencies, and they're the focal point of all CJNet or network issues with the state. And I strongly urge the commission to vote to join that conglomerate.
Is there a financial impact on this?
No. Well, if we don't do it, there will be. Yeah.
And I'll make a motion that we join.
Yeah, make a motion, hold on, let me make sure that's right. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
11.8, Dell Roughbook Laptops, Interim Police Chief Howard.
The Dell laptops are actually part of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement FIBRS grant that we received that's in the beginning of the agenda. I think item 7.2. And the additional 10 laptops were approved by FDLE for purchase by the town. So it's covered by the grant.
All right. Question?
Yeah, what happens, just out of curiosity, if you go ahead and just use the grant money, what happens if something unexpected happens? And how do we have to put that grant money back? Once
What do you
we've
mean,
already-
if the police department doesn't start?
Once we've already purchased something,
Right.
what happens with the grant money if something goes wrong and dissolving next year or something? Who knows, right? So,
Once the grant's awarded, we have to spend the money by June of this year. After that, it's our money.
Have to give it back.
If it's not used, we lose it.
Yeah.
I just signed a paper to save us from losing a grant just recently because it hadn't been utilized. So
Well, I guess the question I'm saying, what happens if the police department, for some reason, doesn't go through, it doesn't work out? What do? We have to give them the money back, or what? What
I
happens to
don't know,
them?
we'd have to call FDLE.
we'd have to find out at that time. So right now we have the grant, we have the approval, and pushing forward on the police department.
We only have 60 days left to spend this money.
60 days,
That's correct.
our next meeting.
Our next meeting is scheduled for May 11th.
I'm not gonna vote to table it, I'm gonna vote to move it forward, so this is one of those, we'll have to.
I would like to get the results from the consultant, which I think we're gonna get like in another week, right?
About 2 weeks, yeah.
I'm frankly not concerned about the consultant's input on this because that's the manager's pet project.
Oh, that was the commission's,
We voted for
commission
it.
voted to do the whole thing.
The only person who wanted it was the manager, so.
I wanted to see
Okay,
it
well,
too.
you wanted it too. You haven't been here for the last 2.5 years of building
That,
this either,
that doesn't matter, sir.
so.
Attorney Anderson, is there a way to find out if we have to pay that money back before meeting? Like, do a phone
We
call or
can
something?
find that out, yes, we can find that out. I do not know the answer off the top of my head. I could read the grant, but I think the best thing, so I could read the grant, but to ensure we have the correct answer, we may need to get in touch with FDLE. I do not know the answer to that question.
Possibly you can come up for that while we continue during the meeting.
I
And we postpone this question till the.
doubt
next
it,
item.
because I would want to confirm that with FDLE. I do not want to give the commission incorrect advice, and I don't have, do you have the grant? Do we have the entire grant
I have the contract. yeah.
attached? Here, give me the contract and I'll look it over, but if it's not clear on its face, because it may be, I'll look at the contract. If it's not clear on its face, I can't give you an answer tonight, all right? And we would have to reach out to FDLE, and I would have to do more research. Have to figure it out. Let me look through it.
With all due respect, Mayor, at the present time, we have Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins who's asked to table the item. Do you want to request for a second or to go ahead and table it to the end of the meeting?
We have till midnight.
Okay.
Do you want me to do you want me to read it while you all are waiting, or do you want to move on?
The way it doesn't matter, we can take a break if you'd like.
No, I would rather you all move on, and I'll read this
Okay.
and let you know.
And let's put this item to the end of the agenda.
Okay. Actually, the next one is for the attorney, so if you want to move on to 11.10.
Hold on, I'm pulling this up.
It's not a long discussion, so I can tell you what this is, we all know what it is, and then I can go back to looking at this, if you want to take it, 11.9.
11.9?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the amendment to the existing agreement with BSO, which simply is carrying us through to the end of this fiscal year. Nothing is changing. There's no change in finances. There's no change to the agreement.
So I have a question on this.
Yes.
Since we have a month-to-month contract, why are we even doing this?
Because
Our contract expired February 10th.
Our contract expired a long time ago.
But February 10th, they said they were going to stop, and that was the reason why we came back and said to the end of the fiscal year, because we weren't up and running yet.
But we've been on a month-to-month contract for many years.
Yes,
So-
but when we hired, when we started our own police department,
wa-
they
that
said
was-
February
that was-
10th is the last of it.
That was the sheriff's
They
department
canceled it.
wanting to cancel service.
the sheriff requested that we do this, and again, there is no change whatsoever to our relationship with the sheriff. It simply memorializes it, makes everybody comfortable.
I'm not comfortable with the sheriff's department at all, nor the sheriff personally. So
Okay, well,
we're on
I
a
mean,
month-to-month contract with them. I don't see the point of putting an amendment in place to extend this when we've been on a month-to-month for a long time. If they want to end the contract, that's up on them to do, you know? So,
It's only, I mean, month to month, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think, based on conversation with Chief Howard, we're not going to be ready even by the end of this fiscal year, so.
I realize that, but we're on a month-to-month contract. And it just continues. It's been on a month-to-month, I believe, since like 2018.
The reason why this came up is because they said they were going to cancel February 10th, which was the day we gave them that we were going to start our own police department, so.
So are they truly going to cancel?
I believe so. I have no reason to doubt them. I don't know, sir.
I have a lot of reason to doubt them and integrity that comes from the top of that agency. So,
I'm not here to speak on that. I'm just telling you what they told us. I'm just giving you the facts.
well, and I'm asking questions. So,
I agree, that's fine. You can ask questions, but I'm telling you, they said that February 10th was the drop dead. We were going to be, that was the end date. And we spoke with, after the commission said, go ahead and speak to them. And this is the result of that. We can extend it all the way to the end of the fiscal year. And at the same rate, no other issues, no other increases, nothing.
so let me point out a couple things. One, we're still paying the same rate we've been paying, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. They moved out of Pembroke Park, moved into another building in West Park. Don't you think the cost of the rent and expenses changed by doing that?
I don't know.
Okay, may
No,
I?
no. We're in discussion, and I do have some things to point out. There was a memo with West Park and the BSO stating that they were going to take the amount that we pay in rent and just give it over to West Park. So we're still paying the same amount for rent of a facility here, where they moved into a much smaller facility owned by the city of West Park. So we're still paying the same amount of rent that we were paying for this facility here with the same contract. So there's been no changes on our side. The only difference is our rent check is being handed over to another municipality. And there's a memo supporting that. So where's the legal side of that? And you want to continue a contract paying for a facility that that they're not using? Because that's what this is doing. It's not changing anything.
I was just trying to continue to get coverage until we get our own department up and running.
Okay?
That's what I was trying to do.
And the month-to-month contract that's been in place has been fine. If they want to terminate, they terminate, you know?
Okay, that's fine. If,
Mr. Mayor, question?
Sure. No, we're not in public comment right now. So, do we have anything to go with that?
if you don't want to do this extension, that's fine. If they cancel, and we deal with it how it is. That's all I can say. They already said they were going to cancel February 10th. And we've been in negotiation or talking to them about this until we got to this point. And they've continued patrolling and continued providing service.
They do continue patrolling. We know that.
They're continuing to provide the service. And so if you don't want to, if the commission votes not to extend, that's fine. Don't vote. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just trying to get us to continue having coverage until the department gets up and running.
So
That's all I'm trying to do.
And here's my point on this. We've been on a month-to-month contract, and I believe it was back from 2018. That's where we've been since 2018. And then, once we hired a police chief, they opted to come out and say, oh, we're going to terminate service on this date this time. Hasn't happened.
Because we met with them and told them.
We met with them. They wanted to charge us $5.4 million for service.
That was a proposal to have
For the
our
new
own police
contract.
department.
That is correct.
That's correct. That they provided us a proposal to provide us services here.
Vote it up or down. We
All
should
right.
just vote it up or down.
You can vote it up or down. It's fine. We let the chips fall where they may. It's okay.
So, we could also table this to get the answers to those questions about
Th-
continuing
this
on a
is-
month-to-month.
That they're not going to, I'm going to tell you right now, all of those questions that you had are not relevant to this, and they're not going to answer any of them. So
Of course not. I've dealt with their attorney
Okay,
as well,
so-
so.
please don't take it out on me.
I'm not.
Okay. So you can either vote it up or down. That's where you can table it and we can reach out to them and get those questions answered. It's up to you. But I don't think that JC and I have the answers that you're looking for right now.
Okay, I think then it's best interest to table it
Alyssa,
and get
what
answers to
happens,
those questions.
what happens if we, if they cancel? Do they stop patrolling?
Yes.
But under state law, they still have to respond to emergencies in the town.
Okay, I don't know who I'm responding to now.
Okay.
That's just emergencies.
That is correct.
Which is what they do currently.
So the sheriff's office has a duty to patrol. They do not have it, as we've discussed before, they do not have a duty to patrol at any certain service level in this town. They do so because of the contract. If the town fails to approve the contract, I don't know what BSO will do. I don't have that answer. If you want us to go back and ask questions of them, if that's what you vote, that's fine. We should have those questions delineated so we know exactly what we're asking and what we want the answers to.
Okay, I think it's in best interest of the town to go back and discuss those questions.
I think we should just approve it because they say nothing's changed. The price doesn't go up. And
But now you're changing it from a month to month to a contract where you're putting a deadline on the date that it ends at the end of the fiscal year. You're taking it out of their hands and putting it in yours.
we have a date before?
Yeah, it was February 10th that they were going to stop patrolling, or that they were going to, the end of the contract.
Since then, we've been on month to month.
Since then, they've been honoring the contract, because we told them that, based on the commission, we went back to them and reached out to them and said, hey, can you continue until the end of the fiscal year?
I want the commission to keep a couple things in mind. They up and moved out of town, moved into a facility in West Park, and are giving our rent check that we pay here over to West Park without even changing the amount. We don't know what they're paying for the leasing of that. We don't know what the cost is. We don't know what the cost difference is. Are we overpaying? Are they overbilling us again? You know, these are all questions we have.
All right, I have an answer on this when you're done discussing that.
I just don't want to risk us not getting any patrolmen on the street.
Here's the
for our
thing,
residents.
there's a difference between patrolling and responding to emergencies. We currently pay for patrol service. That's what we're paying for. Under state statute, they're required to respond to emergencies.
Actually, it's the
Constitution, thank you for correcting me. Under the state constitution, they're required to respond to emergencies, which is what they currently do as well.
Melissa, I believe our town charter says that we have to protect our citizens, correct?
We have a duty as a municipality to protect our citizens under state law, the Constitution, and the Florida statutes. Quite frankly, I think that, I don't know for sure, but my intuition tells me that they're going to be here until we don't. They've requested that we approve this. It's up to the commission to approve it or not. I would vote it up or down or table it. If you want us to go back to them with questions, we can certainly do that. We don't have the answers right now that you are looking for.
And the one thing I just want to point out with this, they're the ones who gave us a date in January that they were going to terminate service. By doing this amendment changes hands, puts it back on us, saying that we're voting to terminate service on September 30th of 2022, that we are terminating service with them. So from that point on,
Well, actually, the contract just ends then.
okay, the contract ends then, okay? So there's no longer going to be service to BSO. We won't be cutting them checks after this date and time. And we're in the same position. Well, we're without BSO. But the difference is it changes it from them terminating the contract to us terminating the contract by doing this agreement.
No, it just,
Yes, it does. It says right here, it says, parties have agreed to extend the transition phase to the end of the current fiscal year, terminating it on September 30th, 2022.
That just means that it ends. It doesn't mean we're terminating it, it doesn't mean they're terminating it, it means it ends.
But we're agreeing by
By
signing this to
operation.
terminate at September, that it ends, but we're agreeing that we will end it September 30th. So,
You're agreeing that the term ends, and they
Okay.
are agreeing that the term ends. It would be the natural end of the contract.
I think it's in best interest to find out where funds are going and have those questions answered before doing another agreement with BSO.
What happens after September 30th, 2022?
After September 30th, 2022, our contract with them would end. Instead of ending February 10th, like they originally said.
JC, why don't you explain to them what the BSO's contracts are if we have to sign another contract?
What do you mean?
The terms of their new contract, or of their contracts. What's the minimum requirement, minimum years? It's
I
5.
I don't know what their contract would be now.
You've been there with me when we've discussed these contracts. Their attorney flat out said, this is our contract, this is the way it stays. It's a minimum of a 5-year contract. So
That's
you
if,
have
that's
to
if we
sign
were starting a new contract with them, but we're not talking about a new contract with them.
What are you gonna do, what are you gonna do October 1st, JC?
I don't know, what are we gonna do October 1st? Our police department's not up and running yet.
That's what I'm saying, we're on a month-to-month. Why change it?
Because they are going to change it.
Okay, let them change it. Let them change it.
Maybe we
It-
should
it-
maybe-
It moves the burden from us to them.
That,
Done with
like,
this
like,
issue.
that make, we just make a motion, vote it up or down, defer it.
Hey,
That way
JC,
you can answer the questions.
Comes October 1st. Do a new contract, a 5-year contract.
No, we don't have, no, there's
Who
no,
determines?
We don't know what the terms of any new contract are because we haven't engaged in discussions with them.
there wouldn't be any new contract.
It would be a month-to-month?
At that point, it would be over.
We don't, our agreement with BSO ends at the end of this fiscal year. Regardless of whether we approve this, or whether you approve this or not, they're gonna be here until the end of the fiscal year. What you guys do with the police department will have, then when we get to the end of the fiscal year, depending on what's happening with the police department, we'll know whether we need to enter in, and I know the mayor doesn't want to do this, so you don't need to tell me you don't want to do it, because I know you don't. But if we didn't have the police department up and running at that time, the commission would have to decide what to do. The commission would have to decide, are you going to go with BSO again for an interim? What are you going to do? Currently, we just have BSO to the end of the fiscal year, which is the beginning, end of September, beginning of October. That's it. There is no plan after that.
So we don't need this then, right? Because they'll be here regardless?
No, that's not necessarily true, because they had already told us they were gonna end February 10th. And the only reason why they're still doing it is because we said, hey, hold on a second, don't stop trolling, don't stop doing that. Because we can, let's see what it would take to get to the end of the fiscal year.
They're not obligated to provide the levels of service that they're currently providing through the end of the fiscal year unless this is executed, unless this is approved by the commission and executed. They can come and go as they please. That's why they wanted the town to approve this.
Wait a second. Go back and say that again.
Want the town to approve this.
No, you said, unless we approve this, they will come and go as they please.
I assume, I don't know what they're going to do.
We're on a month-to-month contract with them. It's been that way since 2018.
You're asking JC and I to answer questions that only BSO can answer. So if you want those questions answered, please let's ask them the questions instead of asking us. Instead of asking me, I don't have the answers. It's not fair to either one of us to beat up on us because you want to have the answers and we don't have them. I don't work for BSO. I don't know what they're going to do. They've asked us to execute this and approve it, and so I presented it to you guys. If you don't want to do it, then,
I just want the answers to the questions that I ask. I mean,
We
we are
can
fiscally
ask
responsible for
them
the town.
those questions, but I don't have the answers, and I don't believe the town manager has the answers, and I don't believe anybody in this room has the answers.
Why don't we try to
Can
reach
we-
out to the BSO and get some answers?
Can we table this and find out what happens on the 1st of
That's fine.
October?
It's up, but you guys somebody needs to
And
make a
someone needs to
motion.
make a motion.
Motion to table this until the next meeting? To find out what happens, comes October 1st, if we do this contract, extend this
That's fine.
contract.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Roll call.
Motion to table by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes to table.
So if you want to go back to the laptops,
Okay, 11.8.
I think the answer to the question is, having read this, that it's a grant for reimbursement. So typically, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but typically with a grant, there's different types of grants. Some grants will give you an ongoing payment of money, and then the granting authority will monitor your use of that money to make sure you're in compliance. I don't think that this is that type of grant. I think once the money has been given to a legitimate agency, or they've evaluated the grant and they've said this is legitimate, and they reimburse you, I think that is the end of the story. They're not going to come back and ask, are you still a functioning police department a year from now? So the answer to the question is, I don't think there's any liability to using the grant money to purchase the laptops.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the Dell Roughbook laptops.
Make a motion that we go ahead and
The motion to adopt.
adopt, I'm sorry.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
11.10, Florida League of Cities designation. Mayor Jacobs, this is my item. We are involved with the Florida League of Cities. I attend their meetings every year. Wait a second, where are we at here? Yep, deadline to appoint. We have 3 spots, which would be director, alternate, and second alternate for the town. League of Cities, we have an annual meeting up north that all the commissioners can go to. They have different classes you guys can take if you have the time available. I make sure I'm there for all of these. My recommendation would be, I would like to stay as director and then list Ray and as alternate and Hodgkins as second alternate. This is for attending the, for representing Pembroke Park with the League of Cities.
I agree with that.
Okay, yeah. It just says deadline for appointment is April 30th, 2022. Because the term will begin May 13th, where members are sworn in at the 65th Annual Gala here in Broward, Margaritaville, at the 65th Annual Gala. So,
But that would conflict with the stuff that are going on with the MPO.
it's all over the place. So there's usually one meeting at the beginning of the month, one meeting at the end of the month. That's why I said I'd still maintain as the director for the town. And then you guys would be the alternates. If I can't attend the local meeting, it's one of you two can attend. If not, we have no one representing our town at the meetings. So that gives all 3 of us the access to attend these meetings.
Where are the meetings?
They're here in Broward County. I'll entertain a motion
to, how do I say this?
I think you would authorize, right? Authorize the designation?
Yeah, it's appointment of the Broward League of Cities Board of Directors, Director, alternate, and second alternate listed.
Okay, motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
11. This is the, let me pull it up here. Yeah, this is Florida League of Cities. This is the annual gala we always contribute to every year. This is where we are sworn in. There's two sponsorship levels. There's the $5,000 premium sponsorship, which comes with reserved table for 10. So that would be 10 members from Pembroke Park coming. Includes a whole bunch of other stuff. It's on there. Then there's the minimum membership, which is $2,500, and that comes with 6 tickets to the gala as well. The deadline on this is May 1st at noon. It does, the League of Cities has a lot of benefits for the municipalities. This is where we all come together every month, as we were just discussing previously, where we get funding, we discuss things going on, different events, things that we need for the town, and they in return help us. So my recommendation is that we would do the premium sponsor for the gala for this year.
When do we normally do? I know we've done that before in the past.
I don't recall what we did last year. The year before, I know we had a table.
Oh, last year?
I don't think there was one.
19. It was canceled in 20
And last year.
and last year. Yeah, so it was 19. So I'll entertain a motion.
And to approve 65th annual gala for the premium $5,000 sponsorship.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins? Motion passes.
And Marlon, can you make sure this this all gets completed there? Would that go under you for the completion of it? The forms and stuff to go with it?
The designation?
No, the gala. It's like we have
I
to
can work
submit
on
the-
it. It's fine.
Okay.
Figure it out.
All right. All right, this is 11:12. Payment registration as of April 1st, Mayor Jacobs. Can you guys pull these up? We're gonna go through, these are our check approvals for the month. All right, there's some things I would like to bring to the manager's attention and through here and ask you guys a couple questions. So these are the monthly checks we go through. I don't know if you've seen this yet or gone through checks yet, but this is the sheet that we are provided every month by the finance director for payment. One issue I have with this, and I understand it's a software issue that is being addressed. Mark, if you can fill us in on that situation, if you wouldn't mind. You can't, okay, so you get an email that has this page on it. You can't click on any of the links that are in here because of the software system that the town's using for its accounting. So unless you had an account set up, which only the finance director, I believe, has the account for it, and Christian, we can't actually click on these to actually see the backup that goes with these. So every time we go through the checks, Joy, do you have the registry with you? All right, so every time we go through this, there's backup that's provided. So we have to go through and check to make sure the backup matches and that there's no errors in this. Unfortunately, there are typos that come through here. With mismatched dollar amounts, things are not always correct. The problem is when it gets to me, it's gone through a handful of people to sign off, and I'm the last signer on it. Lately, since I've been out of town, I've had Joy go through on top of it before I even get a chance to approve everything to make sure everything's correct. The system does not allow you to click on the links to actually see it, so you physically have to go through this every time. It was 2 months ago, I believe about 2 months ago, I emailed the finance director and the manager concerning payment to the consultant and where the funds were coming from. Because I was specific, I did not want the funds for the consultant coming out of the police department, as this was a pet project for the town manager.
Please, it's not a pet project, sir. It was a project that was needed because the costs were just kept going up, and I didn't know what the real costs were.
Okay.
So I
But
needed
it was
some.
still your project, was it not?
It was my recommendation, sir, and I
Okay.
think it was the right thing to do.
Okay, but I sent an email saying that I was not going to approve the check. So my question is to the two commissioners, did they come to you and ask you to sign that check?
No.
Okay, I didn't sign that check, and JC, you told me you were gonna get back to me on that one, and I never heard back on it.
I'm not sure if that check has been sent out. I'm
The
not.
check has been sent out, because this one's here's the second payment. In here has the second payment for $18,000.
Regardless, because I had told this to Harry before, take it out of the manager's fund, and we can switch that over.
Okay, it's coming out of the police department's fund is what
I
it
will
is.
switch it over and reimburse the police department's fund.
All right, and then the last time I looked, it was coming out of the building department's fund, or so there's issues with the numbers. They again, things don't look right, and I'll sit down with you and go over them, because we have payments coming out of different places that shouldn't be. It's something's not right in here. The numbers aren't matching up.
That's fine.
Because of that, I did not approve these checks for this one, and I wanted to bring this up for discussion, so everybody, all the commissioners up here, because we're the ones liable for
This
this.
is a software issue?
No, this isn't a software. The only software issue is all the backup isn't loaded on here, so you can't look in your email. So I'll show you. You can't look in your email and just like click it, okay? Nothing comes, even though it's blue, and you should be able to click it and access it.
You'll be able to see the check, see it was signed.
You should see the
and blah, blah,
backup that comes with it. The check's not the most important part. The backup is, to make sure the backup verifies everything that it was spent for. So you could see all the items that it was spent for. Like this one is cleaning, this is Broward Water and Florida Water and Wastewater Services, $2,000. It's got everything listed here, but you actually have to physically look on paper, because this doesn't work. Now, this was going to be fixed at some point, or is it not?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner. No, we had some meetings with them, and the only way to really drill, I know what you're saying, it should be able to just click on links, show you what the invoices are, so you could dig a little further. It doesn't allow it at that level. You'd have to be basically an admin, like the finance director, or what Christian does. You could do it, there's just a lot of training involved. I don't even go at that level. It would be available to commissioners if they want to sit through training and figure out how to do it and give them the right permissions. That wouldn't be a problem. It's your call to see that, but you'd have to really drill down. It's a lot of work.
As the clerk commissioner, I can do that. I understand that there is no, I wouldn't be allocated for my time or whatever, but I wouldn't mind doing that if it makes clarity.
Whatever you like.
Here's the thing, we have to look, currently we do it manually, and it's not a problem. I don't mind going through it. Joy goes through it, but we got to make sure everything matches, because we are the fiscally responsible for this town. The money, these are the checks we're approving, we're signing the checks that go out. So when you approve this, is your signature on the checks going out, and this requires 2 signatures from 2 commissioners for these. Is that still the same? 2 commissioner signatures on these?
I believe it's one commissioner, and, well, I don't remember now. It was 2 commissioners, but I don't remember now.
It is too.
Okay, so, and this isn't the main problem with the IT issue. I'm just bringing it up so you guys are aware of what the issue is here, so we're all on the same page. The issue is, my issue is, it doesn't state here where the money's coming from either. It just says, you know.
Yeah, it's very vague.
Shows a payable amount, yeah, that's it.
That's it. It doesn't detail out enough.
There's no code or anything that says.
Exactly. That's kind of something missing. Is that something? Is
It
that
would be a
Christian
permissions
or a
issue.
question?
It's a permissions issue. I mean, you could
No,
basically.
no. About what account it's coming out of.
I mean, I'm sure that's in there on the back end. Once again, I'm sure Christian and finance would definitely know all those things.
Okay.
That's something that they
Why
get
don't I
on
get
there.
together with Christian, we'll see what we can find out, see what we can clarify tomorrow.
Okay. It just needs some clarification on this of where things are coming from. But as long as the budget, the consultant's coming out of the other pot, then it's fine. I'm not gonna sit here and go through every single check. I was going to, so you guys see the process of what it takes to go through this. But it takes a long time, especially on a heavy month where we have a stack like this sitting on the desk to go through every single one of these items. It would be much easier just to be able to click the link and look at it.
There's got to be a better way, and
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
So,
What is the program they use to do?
Tyler
Tyler
Technologies.
Technologies.
Encode
We've
10.
had multiple meetings, because it makes sense, you know. We looked at this probably a year ago.
Yeah.
When the mayor was working and said, and I agree, it should be able to go right through it, click it, be able to see the invoice that's accompanied by the check, and you have a reasonable, you know,
Right.
understanding of what they're paying that for. It just doesn't allow it at that level.
Oh, it's a crappy program.
I would say that. I just think that it wasn't designed for that kind of, I agree with what you're saying. It should be. We even asked them, is it something they could do? And they said they didn't have any immediate
Like
plans.
switch companies, you know.
That's something to look at.
All right.
Mark, how easy would it be to add the code before the check number, like to see where it's coming from?
I don't know, but I can find out for you. I can give them a call tomorrow.
You could add
Yeah,
the
you
code
could.
and then the check number, that way we know where it's.
We may be able to add a
where
line or
that
two
check
in there
is
to help
coming
you on
from.
that. Sure. I can call them tomorrow and find out. I'll get you an answer.
That would be a simple way to try to rectify things. You
Yeah.
have a departmental code that would go on each check to see
Where it's coming from, right?
From, yes.
Okay, no problem.
all right.
Thank you. Anything else?
And I'll send Christian an email to approve these, or should let's just have a vote to approve the checks, since I have it on here.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the payment registry as of April 1st, 2022.
I'll make that a motion. Go ahead.
A second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Mayor Jacob?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes to approve the registry effective as of April 1st.
All right. Now, this is 11.13, League of Mayors. League of Mayors have their 90th annual meeting in Reno, Nevada. It will be June 3rd through 6th. I'm letting you guys know that I will be attending this as long as work permits, and I'm not flying, which I shouldn't be. I will be in Reno attending this event. All right, I'll bring back everything I always do from this place. So
Just to clarify, it's the U.S. Conference of Mayors, right?
yeah, U.S. Conference.
Yeah,
of
not the
Mayors.
League of Mayors.
Sorry, U.S. Conference Mayors. I don't know why I put League of Mayors. U.S. Conference of Mayors. We do have a Florida League of Mayors as well that we're a part of, and I sit on the board of directors for that as well. So.
Curious if you wanted authorization, or are you just letting them know?
We went round and round over this a long time ago. It's not an authorized item because we're authorized to travel. It's just a courtesy to let everyone
I got you.
be aware that we're doing it. So this went round and round and round in the past, so. All right. Any discussion on that? All right. Old business 12 point, oh, sorry, we canceled that.
We're in 13.1.
13.1, color palette, JC.
Seneca recently reached out to, well, Heidi's no longer here, she would have handled it, but they recently reached out and they wanted to paint on several of their buildings in this color scheme here. Unfortunately, it's not identified in the color palette, the approved color palette for the town, which is my understanding. I think, Vice Mayor, you wanted it updated some time ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a long, I mean, I don't remember it myself, but we'll work on updating that. But I wanted to bring this to you for approval. It looks good. I don't have any problem with that, and quite modern, and I thought we can approve them to paint their buildings this way.
Great. I think that's exactly why we need to update that palette and add some colors to this town.
Can I ask Miguel, could you come up? Where are we at on the update on that? What do we need for the palette update?
You're gonna need this building
That's
official?
not, no, in all fairness to Miguel, it's not his.
It's not the building department?
It would have
it's not
been
the
planning,
building
it would have been
Oh,
planning.
okay.
So
You got a new task, sir.
Any assistance, I'll be more than glad to.
we can get it started, but yeah, that's not Miguel.
Look, I've been through the old color palette. Lucy will go with me. It's every shade of beige you can come across.
Yeah, when
like
actually
our
Lucy,
commission chambers.
Lucy's the one that brought this to my attention. She goes, "Oh, it looks really nice, right?" And I go, "It looks great." And she goes, "Yeah, too bad it's not allowed in town." And so that's why I said, you know what, I got to put it on to the commission. So
Got every shade of desert you can imagine.
yeah, so if I could just get a motion and a second and approval,
All right.
so we can.
I'll entertain
If needed,
a
I'll be more
motion
than
to
glad to
approve
work
the
with the
color
consultant.
added to the color scheme.
Motion to approve the color added to the color scheme.
I'll second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, 13.2. Director position, Town Manager Jimenez.
As yesterday, I sent over a recommendation for termination of an employee here in the town. I forwarded it on to you, as I've done with other in the past. I sent it to you. I don't even put it on the agenda to kind of keep it as private as possible. And I've laid out the reasons why I'm for my recommendation in that memo, if you have any questions.
Got that memo, JC?
Never got it? Yolanda?
It's not in my email either.
Oh, they were,
Not in my email.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
You sent it yesterday?
guys, I can show it to you on my iPad.
How about we take a 10-minute recess and sit with each commissioner for a moment so they can go over it and read it?
I already read it.
You already read it?
Like, he got the email.
I didn't get the email. I have nothing for yesterday from you.
Actually, it came from Yolanda.
Nope.
Sure?
My other box, hold on. All right, yeah, let's take a 10-minute recess. Motion to take a 10-minute recess.
Make a motion to take a 10-minute recess.
Second.
Roll call.
10-minute recess. Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner, Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0 for 10-minute
All right,
recess.
we'll be back at
9:05.
9:06.
It's open here.
Let's just go.
9:07.
Like you mean my fur coat didn't tell you anything?
All right. Let's go back, 13.2, Director position, Town Manager Jimenez. Recommendation by Town Manager. We have all had the opportunity to read the memorandum. Ray, did you read it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Hutchins, yeah, all right. We've all had an opportunity to read it, so go ahead, JC.
Well, basically, that's my recommendation. And, you know, unfortunately, it had to come to this, but I have only so much, you know, patience, and had to be done, so.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for termination.
I'll make the motion for the termination.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Need to take a point of privilege while we're here at 13 and add a 13.3. That we need to have HR go out and start looking for a replacement.
I was gonna, yes, we're gonna immediately start looking for a replacement. In the interim, I have reached out to a couple of firms that provide this service for municipalities, just to hold us over in the interim. I don't know how long the recruitment is gonna take. We're coming up upon budget season. We're trying to finish up the year-end audit. So there are a lot of things that we need to do. And I
understand.
I'm seeking proposal from two different companies, two different firms. They're not interested in doing it full-time, that I know of, but to come in here and just hold us over until.
Is this is something that we could do a special item or a special meeting on if need be?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's important that we get this taken care of with this special meeting.
Yes.
Melissa, do you need, can we just give direction, or do you want to vote on this for going out for,
I think just give them direction now, and then if we need a special meeting, we'll have a special meeting, because it's so vague right now, we don't
well,
really.
we'll give direction on temporary
On interim.
for the interim, but for HR to start advertising,
Direction is fine.
direction's all right on that? Okay. Is everyone okay with giving HR direction to go find a replacement for our HR?
Yes.
Or for our,
I'm fine.
sorry, HR,
I'm fine with that, but I'd like to add,
Finance Department.
JC, also, in the meantime, do you think Christian Noel know enough or experienced enough to step up and be?
You know what, she's one of the people I wanted to have a conversation with as well. We, when this first happened, you know, we kind of did a little damage control, get everything under control, make sure she has access to everything. But I was gonna have a conversation with her as well. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely something that I'm considering.
All right, so are you guys okay with direction to give HR direction to start looking for a new finance director?
Yes.
And then are you guys okay with giving the town manager direction to find an alternative for the interim?
Yes.
Yes.
And if need be, we'll have a special meeting on that one item. Okay, I think we're good. All right, attorney reports.
Wanted to mention, briefly, bring up the subject of A and B recycling, because it has been a thorn in the side of the town forever. And we have been, actually, I want to say code enforcement has been working diligently to try to solve the issue. There's a lot of different issues. So I'm really proud of town staff, because code enforcement and public works and building and permitting have all stepped up to the plate to suggest different solutions to get that problem under control. And I'm hoping that we're going to see some progress at that facility very shortly. So,
You don't need anything from us on that? You just wanted to bring it
I just
down?
want to let you know what's going on. You should see some movement out there. Again, everybody, it's been really awesome that all the different departments have stepped up and we should start to see some improvement there in short order.
Okay, JC, town manager reports.
I'll be very brief. As I mentioned earlier, the report will be, I expect the report in 2 weeks. I wanted to acknowledge Rob Clark. He's going to be attending the American Public Works Association conference next week, which is, I'm very excited for him. I'm very proud of him, and I strongly encourage him to continue attending those. And then the last thing, and this is, a number of employees have come up to me and asked, so I figured, I said, oh, wait, have a commission meeting, I'll just ask the commission there at the end. This Friday, a lot of them have been taking this Friday off. It's Good Friday. And some of them were asking me if we were going to, like last year, I believe we closed a little early. And so I was going to ask that about the commission. If not, it's okay. We'll stay here the full day. But I believe last year that we closed early. And they were asking me that question. So I don't have the authority to make that decision on my own.
How many personal days? We changed the personal days to 2, correct?
Yeah, I
HR?
believe so. I think it's 2 personal.
Did we change the personal days to 2, or is it still just 1? Oh, it's, you know what? It was because of the holiday.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. And we added the holiday. So,
Like a number of them already or said that they were going to be taking the day off. It was a request from a number of them, a number of people that kept getting asked the question. I'm like, you know what? Let me just ask it once.
well, it's not a holiday. I think if they were going to take the day, they would be taken as a personal day.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. And that's all I had.
Okay.
JC, did you find out what that camera thing was down there?
I cannot identify where that camera, who it belongs to. It's aiming down. It looks like there's a camera on 52nd as you're heading towards County Line Road. It's to the right-hand side. It's right by, I guess, the last single family, or the last home there. It looks like it's the last property over there. To the right-hand side, it's a big farm-looking property. There's a wood pole and there's a camera, and I think it might be an FPL pole because I think it's aiming right at the. It looks like there's a meter, an electrical meter that it's aiming at. But yeah, I saw that, but it's only recording that. It's not like it's not a camera. It's not a what call it? It's not a license plate reader. It's not
Just a recording
red light
device.
camera or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just aimed at, looks like the electrical meter.
And where's this at?
52nd Avenue to the right-hand side before you even, before you get to the County Line Road.
Yeah.
It's on a wood pole there, and it's just a random camera, just there aimed down.
On the left.
Yeah, I'll drive by and check it out tomorrow, too.
It's actually, no, as you're heading towards County Line Road, it's to the right-hand side.
Okay.
Is it on private property?
It's on a pole. It's on a utility pole. So it leads me to believe that it's FPL because it looks like it's on an FPL pole, and it's aiming at a.
Could it be one of those readers, one of those?
No, it's not. It's not a plate reader.
The vandalism thing, somebody's been vandalizing the area.
I think so. I think that's what it is, and it might be even a decoy. So, because it looks pretty old school.
Okay.
But
Anything
I will,
else?
sir. I will keep looking to see who owns it.
All right. Commissioner reports. Clerk Commissioner Hotchkiss.
I'm going to save my comments till a later meeting.
All right. Mayor DeVille.
No comment.
I have a few. this morning, we had a swearing in. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it due to work, and we understand. It was amazing. We had, for the very first time, our Congressional District 24, Federica Wilson, showed up. Our Congresswoman actually showed up to town. That's the first time she's been here since elected to office. We also had
Senator.
our new state senator, Pizzo here, Jason Pizzo. We had our, I'm not going to call her our state senator this time, but our Representative Marie Woodson. I know she's watching, so we had our, and then we had some representation from West Park. We had Commissioner Joy Smith from West Park, Commissioner Alexa Davis from Miramar. We had a room full of electeds for our swearing-in ceremony this morning of our first 3 reserve officers. And I think that was phenomenal to see the support that we had politically behind it, along with the residents and or businesses. Next time when we do something like this, let's put more notice on Facebook and our social media so more residents are aware. I guess Cece wasn't aware of it. Did she leave? Okay, yeah, she wasn't aware of it. So we'll make sure that goes out a little more publicly prior to the next event. Where are we at on the economic development study?
Well, I will have it presented. I believe it will be the next meeting. So at the next meeting.
Workshop or meeting?
I'm going to do a workshop so that way we can talk about it, discuss it. But it's almost ready to go.
It's actually not an item that we have to vote on, so I don't think it really needs to go to a
No,
meeting,
no, but
right?
it's nice to talk about. So a workshop will probably be good. And what I might even do is set up after it's done, maybe individual meetings one-on-one with the commission, and then just bring it to a commission meeting for adoption.
Okay.
To adopt it if you guys agree with it.
All right. Next is hiring of staff for the town, HR. Can you guys get creative and make sure we get staff back up for the positions we have short? I don't know what we need to do, but it's not us, it's everybody nationwide trying to hire and get people to fill these positions, but we have staff that are short, need other people working, so it's not all on them. So if we could do that, I would appreciate it. So it was this morning. All right, now we need to come to communication. We need to keep open communication in this town between departments, between staff. We've had some issues the last couple months. When I was here, when I wasn't here, I did have a nice little speech for you guys back in October, November about getting the town together, everyone working together, different departments coming together. But we really have a toxic work environment going on, and we need to fix that. We need to have staff working together where people aren't so divided as they are. Teamwork's everything to make this place work. So from directors to staff, I really hope everyone will take a moment, understand everyone has outside pressures and influences, but we need to work together to keep this town going in the proper direction. We've made huge strides over I'd say last year and a half or even the last 3 years on changing and updating this place. We just need to keep it going and keep our heads in the game on this. So that's all I have. Next, I will I have some announcements to make.
Mayor, I went ahead and I sent out an invite for the pension board meeting. As usual, we always have it just 15 minutes before a regular commission meeting.
Okay.
So that's why it's on here. Just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that if they're available 15 minutes prior to the regular commission meeting on May 11th.
All right, so May 11th meeting will start at 6:45 for the special pension board meeting. Will be Wednesday, May 11th at 6:45 p.m., just before our regular commission meeting. We have the special magistrate Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 at 9 a.m. We have our workshop commission meeting Wednesday, April 27th at 6 p.m. And then our regular commission meeting will be Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. Anyone have any questions? All right. Everyone's favorite part, motion to adjourn.
And to adjourn?
Yes, sir.
Melissa? Time is 9:22. Adjourned.
It's pretty good for